How do, folks? How you doing? Just a quick one. Bit of a different one today. I want to go back and revisit health and wellness, should we say. Now, I've done a couple of videos on healing heart disease, and I'm going to do a bit of an update on that one. And as I'm doing it, and appear to be quite successful at it so far, touch wood, and there are many other remedies for many other things out there. So basically, an update on the heart health. Now, I've been following Dr. Linus Paulin's program of vitamin C and lysine, high dosages of both, 6,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day, 4,000 milligrams of lysine spread throughout the day. As well as that, I also squirt magnesium oil on myself, which I make myself, usually half an hour before I have a shower, and then wash it off. But I don't care if I leave it on. If I put it on after the shower, I'll leave it on for the day. It don't matter. Your body can only absorb as much of it as you need. I also make my own GC MAF potential super yogurt, which is a great healthy thing to have anyway. What else do I do? I take a bit of B17, a bit of B3 and K2. So there's a couple of other bits and bobs as supplements that I just take in there anyway, but nothing religiously like the vitamin C and the lysine. Now, it's a slow process, and I knew when I went into it, you're healing knackered heart. In my case, knackered arteries, and they're full of shite and they can't pump blood properly. Heart attacks have then created issues with the heart. Now, as his program says in his words, there's nothing on a sick heart that you can't heal. Probably not his exact words, but thereabouts. It's his claim that you can reverse any heart disease. So here we go. I tried. Now, for quite a while I felt results pretty early on, as in I'm going to survive this shit, but obviously it's a slow process to heal you. So as everybody around me has constantly been bugging the shit out of me, oh, what's happening, how you feeling, and all that drives me crazy. Just leave me fucking alone to heal and let me get on with what I'm doing. It might be blunt, but I don't need everybody else constantly reminding me, because I'm trying to get it out of my head and just do what I'm doing. So I didn't pay any attention to the heart. I kept my mind in the right place with it, knowing myself, I was healing myself and I was getting better, constantly affirming that to myself to handle the spiritual side of it if anybody's that way inclined. And over time I kind of sat in this place where I was better than I was, but I wasn't great. I looked okay when I'm coming on here, nobody knew I had an issue, so I could carry it off well, and it wasn't an issue. I just go on and go through what I was going through, knowing that I was healing, and it's a process. So anyway, over the last month things have picked up quite significantly. Obviously that lull that I was in, or that plateau that I'd achieved, has had time to settle in and hopefully become the next base to work up from, and the health took a climb upwards. I'm finding myself being able to do more and more and more. Yesterday I was out on my quad for hours and hours and hours without any issues. I wouldn't have been able to do that a couple of months ago. Half an hour on the quad and I was absolutely fucked and needing to go to sleep. Everything was putting me out. But the bottom line is my health has improved massively. Now also there's been another thing in my life, which is Sam, which anybody wants to know about this, I'll give a big thank you to Sam. If she wants any more details passing out, I will pass them out to anybody who requests them, but I will ask her first if that's okay, because I hadn't thought about this, or I don't pre-plan my videos. So I will ask if it's okay to give the details out to any friends that come to me. Obviously I won't post it out there for privacy issues. She works with Scalar technology, if I've got that right, basically the old Tesla technologies, and twice she's been working on me with different technologies. The first one I came away from feeling great and knowing I felt much better. It made me feel better for about 3 or 4 days, which is great, as like that works. I had one sitting on it. which is a long way from me, so I can't see her regularly. But last week I went up to her and another friend of her, Joe, and they was helping me out. And Sam used this Scalar technology on me, which was, like I say, different again. Absolutely phenomenal. The effects I got from it were fantastic. Again, I believe it's Tesla sort of technology and working on frequencies. She worked on me for quite a while with that, and by fuck, the next day I found myself singing. And now, I used to be a big singer, a shower singer, not a professional singer, don't get me wrong. I didn't say you'd enjoy it, I said I used to do it. But I'd sing everywhere, wherever I was, even walking down the street or in a shop, I'd be singing. But this world that crushes you with this knowledge that you gain kind of knocks it out of you. So I haven't found myself singing in happiness for ages. And after that day, I did catch myself singing and realised that my mood as well as my health had just had a fantastic boost. And that seems to have stayed to a certain degree. That hasn't diminished. So wow. I wish I lived closer, Sam, but big thank you for that. And I know it's not just for the heart, that's for any illnesses, any diseases or anything. Like I say, I will speak to her if people want to know about her. Maybe I'll mention her on the next video or something to give you details, or I'll attach the details to this later when she says that's okay. But for the most part, we do need to know that medicines and health, just like everything else that we've been told, are not what we believe. The medical industry, in my belief and in my understanding as I've researched, are a private for-profit corporation, or a bunch of corporations that have actually worked out how they can keep continual business booming, not just booming, but a continual expansion, not only on new products, but actually by putting shite in there that makes you ill or keeps you ill. It's been used against you, and you only have to look at the ingredients and side effects of some of this shite that people just accept. And I learned from this shite making meal. I was initially, when I first got a heart problem, of course I'm going to the medicines. Now you think you're ill in the first place, you've gone for medicine, you're not getting better, you think it's your illness and the medicine didn't work. But then when you start analysing new symptoms coming up and then cross-referencing, you find out your only fucking illness is the medicines. And I found that out with multitudes of medicines in the past, and by looking into it, obviously past tense, and seeing that was the issue. And if folks did their own due diligence, they'd realise that as well. Now, doctors, I'm not saying a doctor isn't there for good as well, because a doctor, a surgeon especially, will put you back together if you're broke. Unfortunately, it's not for the good and the love of it, it's for the corporation to make sure the slave can be productive. It's no good having unproductive slaves. But when you're not productive, that's why you just get put on lifelong medicines that aren't going to make you productive either, in a physical sense, but by hell, you'll be making yourself quite productive in the financial sense to them, won't you? Be getting all them medicines, even if you're getting them on the NHS. It isn't for nothing. Your Sescavie fund, if you learn about that, is paying for them quite expensive, probably 10 times more than it should, which didn't affect your pocket, but certainly made those billionaires even more billions. And that's how it's perpetuating, in my opinion, and anybody else who researches it can either tell me I'm wrong or fucking show me their opinion. I don't give a shit. But if we've got any NHS workers on here want to blah blah blah, come with your proof of claim. Don't come with your indoctrination shite. You work for the corporation, don't think for 1 minute you're privy to other truths. Not for 1 minute. You think of any company, do you think the workers have a clue what's going on in the corporation? Not a clue. And you all already know or suspect that profit runs medicine, not health. So, hey, wake up, folks. I'm not saying everybody should stop the medications by any sense of the word. I don't know what you're being medicated for, or what you're taking, or if you have any faith in it. What I'm saying is do your own due diligence, look into it. There's a lot of natural things out there that medicine will not touch. Now here's a strange one. I should have really led with this. I had a really funny call yesterday, And now the reason for this funny call is because my doctors fell into a little trap. They, because I got a heart issue, they asked me to come in for a blood test, an annual blood test. So I'm like, yeah, of course, I'll go in for a quick blood test. I won't say no to that, because then I can find out the results and know what I'm doing is working. So I said yes. So we've arranged it, and I've said I won't wear a mask, no problem there. So we arranged it, and on my way down there, they told me they wouldn't accept me because I wouldn't wear a mask. So now they're denying me medical treatment or my medical services that I'm entitled to. And there are entitlements, not benefits. So I put them under notice. And I've already got my cardiologist under notice anyway, because all he wants to do is medicate me, and I will refuse medications, and he don't want a conversation about anything but medicines. So I've got him on. So I've got everybody under notice. So I presume now nobody can deal with me, because they have to accept I'm the man and not the legal fiction. I don't allow anybody any other opportunity. So they've all accepted that anyway, and now they're dealing with the man, and they're fucked. So I get this call from a very, very, very posh doctor yesterday. And what a guy to talk to. The conversation was really weird, because to start off with, he starts by informing me he's been bought out of retirement for this. And I'm like, what the fuck? So anyway, we go into this conversation where this guy is happy to talk about Tesla technologies, frequencies. He spoke to me of COVID being bullshit. He said that word in his very posh accent. And when we get through all this bullshit that's going on at the moment, and I'm like, oh wow, how refreshing is this? And he's a straight talker, presumably because he's been bought out of retirement. They're all over a barrel, and he couldn't give a shit. I don't know, but what a fantastic conversation. And by the end of it all, he says, do you want to keep the same cardiologist? Now I realise this guy's got power, whoever he is, he's got some say in all this. And I says, well, to be honest, I know the cardiologist is a damn fine cardiologist. He's done some metalwork in my ticker. He's saved my life, effectively. But I can't talk to the guy. There's no conversation to be had, because he will not discuss what I am actually doing, as opposed to the shite that he'll give me that'll make me ill. And he says, oh no, absolutely. He says, I can see exactly where we've failed you. He says, and where you are finding something that's actually making a difference and healing yourself. He says, and we should absolutely be taking note of this and looking at this and analysing it, maybe. Not that we could ever speak of it or pass it on to anybody else, but shouldn't we know what is actually happening and what is working out there? And this is how he's saying it to me. And he's saying, listen, as far as anything we can do for you concerning keeping a check on you, yes, we should keep having a look. But I don't think there's anything we can even offer you, because you've found something that's working for you far better than we could ever do for you. But if you ever need us, we should absolutely be there for you. And what a conversation. I'm like, oh wow. So yeah, how deep do you want to go? There's lots of folk fight with the NHS and such like, but it's only because you don't do it right, and you want to go for the complaints procedures and scream and shout and be stupid. And there's real processes that they'll never ever tell you, and you learn this from learning who you are within this trust relationship, and learning, as I say, they're doing commerce. And it's not about being shitty with them. It's not about proving them wrong. It's not about breaking them or even making claim on them. It's about ensuring that you're looking after yourself, because handing all of your faith over to others, it don't always work out in your favour. These corporations have got an entirely different agenda to your health, and the only part of your health that counts is, as my doctor, cardiologist himself, the usual cardiologist, the old one, said, my job is to keep your heart ticking. Your quality of life is of no consequence to me whatsoever, as long as I keep your heart ticking. And that tells you what they're doing. They're keeping your trust alive. That's the corporation keeping it going, so they can constantly keep making money from it, which is keeping the slavery going and keeping the lower levels of the echelons, which you would think are the higher levels, but the true powers of the world don't use money. But that all gets to furnish the level that does. and gets to smooth things over for folks and gets them to be able to appoint money left, right and centre or not, however they want your life to be. So folks, it was supposed to be a real cheery one, wasn't it? But hey, all mistakes accepted, you know me. Update on the ticker, what can I say? Dr. Linus Powling's program worked for me. Do your own due diligence, add or take away your own things, learn a bit and experiment. With the heart in a terrible condition, with a point where I was sure I was dead. I wasn't going to be telling anybody because I don't really sweat death too much, but I was sure for at least a few months into this healing myself that even though I was working towards it, that my heart was gone, and I was only trying to improve the last of my life because my heart was fucked. Well, as it turns out, it's turning around now. I still do have problems if I push things too far or do things. I'm not saying I don't, and I think a lot of the aspects now, which may be a lot of folks' issues with the medical problems, is actually more mental, more of a psychological issue, because I've suffered 4 heart attacks and I know what it took to get me into them heart attacks, which at the time wasn't a great deal. So you have a psychological block now when you're doing certain things that make you feel that you don't even feel it, just automatically your brain's going, no, I'm not doing that, no, because that could lead to a heart attack. So there's a psychological barrier to kind of break through, but I can't go bursting through it, because a heart attack comes with no warning whatsoever, so you don't know where that line is. All that's happened is that line of what I'm able to do has moved quite considerably, but I don't know where it lies, so I'm having to push myself little bit by little bit to test and make sure I can not find the line, make sure I can stay within the line and stay safe. But anyway folks, that's the top and bottom of that one. I've got to open my door because my dog's here to say hello. Now I've got home. Hello baby. So I'm going to do one and stay well folks. Heal thyself. There's lots of good stuff out there, there's lots of good books out there, and there's lots of good folks out there that can teach you shit. Don't believe anybody, especially where it's your health. More important, your own due diligence. You don't need to believe anybody if you do your own due diligence. You don't need to believe what something you're reading if you do your own due diligence, because you'll do your own due diligence on what you've read. So be your own master, be your own leader, be your own information source. It's so important that we stop just believing any old shite that others say, and we do it too often, far too much, on both aspects of it, not just one side or the other. It's on both aspects. We believe anything we're told far too easily, and then we perpetuate it. Really not good. I remember being told a spoonful of cayenne pepper while having an heart attack would save your life. I tried it, it nearly killed me, and that's because of shit on the internet. So anyway folks, don't believe everything you say. You are your own due diligence. Have a good one all. Stay well.